y'all. Happy Monday. Thanks for being in the building. I know the convention kicked off tonight, and many of you probably are watching that. And if y'all are, I hope y'all just come back through and look at the replay. But no matter what's going on in the world, the Diva got a show to put on. And you know what time we usually put our show on? Usually 8 p.m., but I had something to do today. But the train is still pulling out the station, even though it's pulling out the station late. So make sure you hit the like button. Glad to see y'all in the building for Trending Topics. Listen, I was away this weekend. I was in the DMV area. Shout out to all of y'all that live out in that area. Listen, a whole lot of hills and stuff when you're driving, but I had a good time. It was nice being someplace different for a minute. Hung out there, and then I came on back home, okay? So that's why I really didn't do anything this weekend. And you know, Royer and I were recapping the Braxton family values. I did watch Friday's episode. Whoo! Listen, if you said you were not going to watch that show, all I could say is tune in. We're only at episode 2, and I'm going to say it's worth the watch. It's worth the watch. They're giving reality. They're giving us real TV, raw emotions, authentic, real TV. So I'm going to tell you that I feel is definitely worth the watch, okay? So I'm not sure when we're going to get to recap that particular show, but Royer and I will be recapping, you know, the second episode, and then we should be able to fall back in line with our regular rotation of recapping the Braxtons, okay? So good show. So anyway, tonight here on Trending Topics, our title is Not Today. Somebody put in the chat, not today, okay? Because these people are saying they're not having it. Not today. You know, Diddy, one of Diddy accusers, because he has many. He has enough to go around. He can share with people, okay? I don't want none of it, but if he wanted to share, he could. That's how many accusers he currently has out there. I'm accusing him of some really very disturbing and heinous crimes, right? So one of them, and it's the latest one, who is an ex-corn star. You know what that means, right? Put the P in front and switch it out, the P for the C. And she's an ex-corn star. She said she was hired to work as a go-go dancer for Diddy's white parties. And she's now claiming that he did to her similar things he did to everybody else. He allegedly spiked the drinks. She got passed around at the parties, taken advantage of, so forth and so on. Now, in her particular case, because it's different than Cassie, I can't put everybody in the Cassie bucket, okay? She was not a girlfriend. She was a hired worker. So let's just say that everything she's saying is 100% true. He did this to you. My thing is, why didn't you terminate your working contract? Now, don't get it twisted, people. I am in no way, shape, or form saying, oh, Diddy is innocent, they're doing him dirty. No, I'm not that girl. But I am the girl that's used my brain and say to myself, okay, girlfriend, I get what you're saying. You saying he did all these things to you. You saying he was sinister. You saying X, Y, Z, but you were a paid worker. And this is not Diva saying this. This is out of her own mouth. Adria English. You're a paid worker. So my confusion is that once your employer did you dirty, why did you keep going back and back and back and back and back? And in real time, she never filed a police report. But here it is, darn near 24 years later, because she said this happened to her in the 2000s. So let's give a four-way give or take, because this is 2024. So 20 years later, she goes and files a police report. I didn't even know it was possible to go to some police department, file a report on a crime that happened over 2 decades ago. I feel like if it was me, and I was accusing my neighbor Joe Blow of doing something, and I'm coming to file that police report, I feel like they would have kicked me off the station. But okay, maybe not. I guess you have any time period in your life to file a complaint against somebody. Guess there's no limitations on that. So we're going to talk about this Diddy Accuser and what it might mean to his current situation of the FBI, whoever else is allegedly convening a group to hopefully, for many of the victims out there, bring charges against Diddy. We'll see. Then we got this Newark, New Jersey bus driver. You know, shout out to all the public service workers out there, because they endure a lot. Holler at your postal service person, the post office worker, the people that drive the buses, the public trains, anybody in public service. This one's to you. Keep your head up, because the public has lost their natural mind. They're doing the most against these public service workers. So you have this bus driver, allegedly the passenger spit on said bus driver, and that bus driver said, not today. Not today. That bus driver got up out of his seat and he commenced to beating down the passenger. Now, they both got arrested, and many people are saying foul play. Why did the bus driver get arrested? You know, the most nastiest foul thing, well, one of them that you could do to a person is conjure up some saliva in your mouth and spit on them. That's a whole nother level of violation. Well, he learned that day because that bus driver got up and beat the crap out of him. So we got to stay connected to that story, but today we're going to talk about it. Then we got this shoplifter. How you driving a luxury car that costs a whole lot of money? A whole lot of money. A luxury car that costs a whole lot of money. A Tesla. At one time, Tesla was a very coveted car. You had to wait months when you ordered it before it came and you received it. So you in a Tesla, you driving a Tesla, but you in the mall shoplifting? Like, where they do that at? So this lady, she's in the mall, she's shoplifting. She runs out because they almost caught her. She runs out and she decides she's going to hide in the trunk of her Tesla. So when the cops came looking for her because they lost her, they looking. There was a good Samaritan, I guess you could call it a good Samaritan. They pointed to the trunk of her car. Like, hey, Popo, she in there. First, they was just knocking on the trunk of the car. She didn't answer. Then I don't know how they did it, but they got the trunk of the car open. They got the trunk of the car open and they arrested her. And she's 35 years old. When you 35 and the best you got is you stealing, God help us all. God help us all. It's called get yourself another job. But my thing is, you driving a Tesla. Who does that Tesla belong to? Because they are not cheap. And I'm sure they probably take premium gas. You driving a Tesla and you got to rob and steal from the mall. It don't make sense to me. But they caught her. And then, you know, let's talk a side note. This is not on the docket tonight, but I'm just going to mention this really quickly. So, you know, blogging, it's a fun job, but you still got to be responsible. You got to watch what you say, how you say it. You got to be mindful of what your panelists are saying, and you don't know what they're going to say because it's not like thank you. You see how much I know? They said Teslas, thank you so much, a lady 747. Tesla's 100% electric, no gas. Oh, girl, listen, you teaching me? I don't know. I don't have that car. Okay, thank you, Wayne. You said it too. I drive a Hyundai and I love it. Regular gas. And I ain't got to bop nobody upside the head, rob, steal, or none of that so that I could drive my Hyundai and live my life. So who knew? But Teslas, if I'm not mistaken, they are expensive, right, y'all? They're expensive. You out here stealing and you driving a Tesla. But let me get back to blogging for a minute. So blogging, you know, you got to be responsible. I can't just come up here and for a click and a view and be like, breaking news, breaking news. I heard Diddy got arrested, and add 20 on 10 on it. Or breaking news, and I heard said celebrity, You can't just do that. Now, if they got a reality show and they acted a fool on their reality show, and I'm recapping it, then it's open game. Open game. So Nosy Ho, who's a blogger on YouTube, and maybe she has other platforms also. Back in 2022, she said some things about Nicki Minaj that wasn't so favorable. Well, Nicki Minaj did not like it at all. And so Nicki Minaj went in, she sued. Nicki Minaj sued. And Nicki Minaj run the lawsuit, and now Nosy Ho cannot say Nicki Minaj's name out her mouth. Talking about keep my name out your mouth. And if she says her name or anything about her remotely near, close, or whatever, guess what? Guess what? She's going to have to pay her $50K per fine. That's a lot of money. So a lot of people, they come in my comments sometimes like, oh, Diva, you better watch it. You're going to get sued. Hold on. Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes. I think I got 2K videos on this channel. Very rarely do you see exclusive on my video. I don't even think I have any that say exclusive. Maybe I do, maybe I don't, but I promise you it's a rare occasion. Very rarely do you see me talk about said situation and it didn't come from some type of publication. You don't see me do that. So Diva's not getting sued. Not going to get myself involved in no lawsuit, and I don't put 20 on 10 on a situation. I do not. I give you my opinion on said situation, but I'm not putting 20 on 10 on it and telling you I know for a fact that this one did this, that, and the other. And you got to be careful as a blogger because people will email you and they will tell you stuff. And I email them back. Are you willing to come say it? Or do you have evidence? Can you give me more proof? And they're like, no, I don't want to. I just want. Well, then I ain't repeating your nonsense. You going to get me hemmed up? No, I'll pass on that. I shall pass. It ain't that serious for me to get no click or no view. Now, if you want to come on my platform and tell you what you saw, but I'm not going to say that I heard from somebody that told me and this person is a good sort. No, save it. I'm good. Not this girl right here. So anybody out there aspiring to be a blogger, all I can say is don't be afraid to do it. And don't be afraid that you're going to get sued. But just do the thing the right way. Don't act a fool. And don't feel like you got to get crazy talking about, oh, exclusive. I know for a fact. Because then when them people sue you and you don't got your facts together, you're not going to win. Now, the train a little light today because I think everybody's watching the convention. And listen, enjoy if you are watching. Give me the details. Maybe we could do a watch party on Thursday. I have to figure it out and see. But in the meantime, I need to load this train up because we got stuff to talk about, okay? Let me load the train up, and y'all know what I need in the chat. If I'm about to load this train up, I need a what, y'all? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Monday Night Trending Topics, and we got stuff to talk about, okay? The title is called Not Today. Okay, we got Diddy Accuser filing a police report 20 years later. I really don't know where they do that at. But anyway, we got the bus driver. He said, you want to spit on me? Okay, then I'm going to put some hands on you. Okay, the bus driver wasn't playing. Then we got the dumb shoplifter. You in a Tesla, you're stealing, and you thought you was going to get away by jumping in the trunk. Well, guess what? They said, not today. The police still cleaned you up. All right, let me go ahead and load this train up and bring the people on in the building. Hey, Wayne.
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva. Choo, choo, choo.
Choo, choo, choo. Hey, Julius. All right, guys. Everybody just mute the line. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to get right into this first story. And listen, everybody, if you're out there hanging out with us tonight, make sure you hit that like button. That is your ticket on the train. It's free. You just got to hit the like button. Our lights are a little low right now, but we're going to go ahead and get into the story. You know, we might as well knock Diddy out first because it's always a Diddy situation. And I think that, you know, the feds currently now, they are just really working hard to figure out, can we bring some charges against this man? So let me go ahead and get into the first story. Let me share screen. Okay. So, oh wait, oh right, okay, it's coming through. So her name is Adria. Andrea. You know, I might not be pronouncing the name exactly right. English. She files a police report with criminal complaint against Diddy 1 month after the civil lawsuit. So that is a picture of her. And then, of course, we've seen 1,000 pictures of Diddy. Adria English, who previously filed a lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs for alleged trafficking, has filed a criminal complaint against him. Miss English is very excited and cautiously optimistic about her journey to justice, starting with the filing of her lawsuit on July 3rd, 2024, and now with the filing of a criminal complaint with the Miami Beach Police Department. Ariel E. Mitchell said in a statement to US Weekly, Miss English hopes to file an additional criminal complaint in New York, but has been precluded to this point as New York requires an individual to be in person in order to file a criminal complaint. And listen, I am in agreement with that, right? Because imagine if people could just file complaints over the phone. Imagine how many maybe fraudulent complaints one might have if that person did not have to physically show up in the building to file a complaint. The statement noted that a GoFundMe has been created to support English in her journey to justice because she is of limited means and doesn't have the financial support to fight this case. We look forward to hopefully being able to pursue justice as quickly as possible with the support of others who are interested in standing with her against injustice she and others have faced at the hands of Mr. Combs, the statement concluded. English previously filed a lawsuit against Diddy 54 in July, accusing him of forcing her to engage in S work while employed as an entertainer at his white parties. Diddy white parties were held at his homes in New York and Miami. In court documents obtained by us, English alleged that she was trafficked by Combs and 2 others from 2004 to 2009. English also claims she was forced to take substances and was unable to recall details from the Miami white parties because of the increased demand that she engaged in illicit narcotics and alcohol use while employed for Combs. Combs Bad Boy Entertainment Holdings, Inc., Vibe Magazine, and Penske Medical Media Corporation, among others, were listed on the suit. In a statement to Entertainment Weekly, Combs' attorney Jonathan Davis called the accusations baseless. Davis added, no matter how many lawsuits are filed, it won't change the fact that Mr. Combs has never SA'd or ST'd anyone. We live in a world where anyone can file a lawsuit for any reason without any proof. Fortunately, a fair and impartial judicial process exists to find the truth, and Mr. Combs is confident he will prevail against these and other baseless court claims. English lawsuit came on the heels of several filings against Diddy in November 2023. Filing Cassie, real name Cassandra Ventura, accused Diddy of abuse and R throughout their relationship. Diddy denied the allegations before settling the case the next day. And then it says, if you or anyone has been SA, contact the National SA hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. And HOPE is the number's 4673. With this particular case here, listen, we always want justice to prevail, right? If victims were hurt, I feel like people should pay for whoever hurt said victims, right? But in her case, I'm just curious how somebody could file a criminal complaint 20 years later. So she filed one in Miami. She is waiting to get to New York to file one in New York. So, but it just was shocking to me that someone can even wait that long to file these charges. But also, the Miami PD said that they found she didn't have enough evidence for them to even consider charging Diddy with a crime. To me, that is going to possibly hurt her case. If you ask me, that Miami PD said, listen, we don't got enough evidence to see that a crime was committed here, but we will pass on your report to the powers that be, the FBI, and whoever else is currently investigating Diddy, and maybe your story can help them, but we got nothing for you. Wayne, what are your thoughts on this situation?
Diva, I was thinking, I said, it was a job. She was a dancer, whatever, and it could have crossed over into extracurricular things, and she may have liked it or enjoyed it, whatever, and maybe getting paid, whatever. But I think at some point it did turn violent, where it was, you know what I mean? And and whether she, continue with it out of fear or whatever. But I can see her coming forth now, when she probably before, I can't do nothing. It's Diddy. It's that, nobody's going to believe me. But now she see everybody else, like Cassie got paid. So I know, nothing, whatever happened to her, the pain that was caused, whatever, nothing's going to take that away. But a few dollars to help. Okay? And so I hope she gets something. I hope she gets something, because this man, just because she was employed and had that position, and maybe they convinced her, whatever, the drug, she crossed over a little bit, and maybe for a time, like I said, enjoyable, but then it turned, so unfortunately, she's probably nothing that can happen as far as, making her feel any better. But I think she should be entitled to something, get something. Now, by the time, if he had to start paying all these people, because there's a lot of people in line, so people trying to jump in line now before it run out, if the cases do go through. So, I feel sorry for her. I don't think she, wanted to get into that, but it happened, and then you find yourself in stuff you don't know how to get out of. That's it.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Wayne. Katrina, you're out.
Give me 1 minute, Diva. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. You want me to come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay, Julius, you're out.
If she doesn't have evidence, that she doesn't have the evidence. I'm not going to deny her experience. I want to make that clear. But if she doesn't have the evidence to back up her claim, she's not going to be moving much further. You got to have evidence and make sure that it's credible.
Yeah, I do agree with you. She needs evidence. But I think if I was Diddy lawyers, one, you didn't file anything back in real time, right? Now all of a sudden, when other lawsuits are coming out, now you wanna come out with with your lawsuit or whatever the case may be, and then you want to backtrack Because I think just like when I first heard this, my thing is why are none of these people doing any criminal lawsuit, like no criminal cases, right? Why is nobody trying to charge him criminally? Why is everybody doing this civil thing? And so yes, the statute of limitations for her will run out. But when did she, in my opinion, when did you get this awareness that said crime was happening? You only got the awareness once Cassie sued, and then now you want to go backtrack and do police reports. I don't. It's a little messy to me. Katrina, your thoughts?
I'm with you on this, Diva. I feel like, yeah, like what Wayne's saying, maybe she got tricked into it. But once you knew the game, why did you stay in it? You stayed in it because you wanted something out of it. And then once you didn't get what you wanted, now you want to go cry and holler. And look how many years it been. And I'm not saying nobody shouldn't get paid for their pain. But you waited all this time and you went back. Then your boyfriend had you doing it with him or something like that, if I remember the story correctly. But you went back. You went back to doing what you said you didn't want to do. And now you coming out somebody is abusive and all this type of stuff when you had the opportunity to walk away. But you didn't. You didn't walk away because you wanted the money. And as we know, Diddy don't pay people like they say. And so now you caught up. And now, like you said, everybody want to come at him, not civil wise, but they want to come at him with like money wise. They want to get money from him, and that's the shame. I mean, I'm not saying because already people already know that Diddy do not pay, and everybody knows this. So, but you knew exactly what you was getting into, but you kept going back. You kept going back. So how could we feel sorry for you when you kept doing the same thing over and over again? And I know people say it's a cycle or whatsoever, but sometimes these cycles have to be broken. Maybe if you would have complained, or Cassie and Kim and all of them would have complained, everybody knew. Maybe the next woman wouldn't got into that situation. So I feel like maybe you should get paid for what you did, but then again, you kept going back. It's just like telling a child when the iron is hot, they don't believe you until they touch it. And once they touch it, they know it's hot and they're not going to do it again. So if she get money, oh well, but you knew exactly what you was dealing with when you kept going back. That's all I got, Diva.
I agree with you. And listen, if you and your boyfriend didn't make no sense, right? Because the boyfriend from the onset, y'all claimed that Diddy asked the boyfriend to perform oral on him. So why would you even want to remotely work for somebody if that's not what you're into, who asked your boyfriend to do that from the beginning, and you and your boyfriend together thought it was still a good idea to go work for this man? You got to make that make sense to me. But you know what? We're going to carry on, and I wish her all the best. And let's see when she goes to file her police report in New York, what happens. I wish her all the best. So let's go ahead and move on to the next story. You know, like I said, public service workers, God bless them, because some of them really go through the most. People feel like they could talk to them any kind of way. They be beating them up. They be putting their hands on them. All kinds of stuff happen. But this bus driver in Newark, New Jersey, he said, not today. Not today. You won't come at me like that. So let's go ahead and get right into this story. Let me just get the right article here. So a New Jersey bus driver savagely beats a passenger, puts him in a chokehold for spitting, and there's video footage, okay? I think, let me just see if this is part of the footage we want to see.
Wrong with you? You want to spit? Like, you wait. That's it. Driver. Oh my God. No, damn.
Ooh. All right, so that passenger found out today. Okay, a New Jersey Transit bus driver has been arrested for allegedly plummeting a strap hanger and putting him in a chokehold in a caught-on-camera attack after the passenger apparently spit on him mid-route. The driver, Teron Walker, was nabbed after the violent altercation with the male passenger erupted on a crowded bus in Newark on Friday afternoon. Footage of the ordeal allegedly showed the driver pinning the male passenger down to one of the seats by his neck before slamming him down in the middle of the aisle. I hate when these little things play in the background. The driver then landed several blows to the passenger head, one clip shows. He said, "You effed up. What the F is wrong with you? You want to spit?" Walker could be heard shouting as he continued to punch the commuter. At one point, Walker was allegedly filmed getting the man in a chokehold as horrified passengers screamed for him to stop. Cops eventually boarded the bus, which was stopped at Court Street near Broad Street, and found Walker allegedly still plummeting the passenger. Newark Public Safety Director Fritz Frag said in a statement to the Post, he was cuffed and later slapped with an aggravated assault charge. The strap hanger was also charged with aggravated assault for allegedly spitting on the driver, Frag said. The passenger didn't suffer severe injuries in the melee. Police and New Jersey Transit officials said they are investigating the violence. This matter is currently under investigation and we're unable to comment on any specific details at this time. We don't condone any form of assault aboard any of our vehicles or within our facilities, a New Jersey Transit spokesperson said. We can confirm that our driver was assaulted prior to the altercation. We want to take this opportunity to remind everyone that assaulting a transit employee is a serious offense and can result in a fine, jail time, and or ban from riding the transit system. This is just tragic all the way around. It's a shame that the bus driver got arrested and he was really trying to defend himself. But again, I guess we have to say how much defense might be too much in certain situations. Wayne, your thoughts? Wayne, are you there? Did I lose you?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
You know, that happened to same kind of thing happened. It was a bus driver, and it was a girl, and she was mouthing off at him, telling him whatever, whatever the case may be, and he kept on saying, you know, whatever, trying to avoid conflict. And because I'm on the thing on chat, and because he wouldn't, you know, interact with her, she went up and spit in his face, and he got up out his chair and nailed her. And somebody said, "She's a lady," knocked her out. And with this guy right here, that's the nastiest thing you can do is spit on somebody. All kinds of germs. I mean, people have mental anguish over that. And I know a friend in California that happened to. A homeless person spit in her mouth.
Oh.
And she had to go to a psychiatrist. I mean, that bad. So, I mean, whatever this guy got, he deserved every bit of it. I'm done.
I appreciate you, Wayne. Katrina, you're up.
I'm gonna say it like this: you spit in my face, I've been arrested too, because that's the most nasty. Your mouth is the most nastiest part of your body. That carries a lot of germs. So if you would have spit in my face, you would have got the same beat down as well, because anything can come out your mouth. That's like loose fluids. What if the man had a sore or something on him and then he getting your germs inside of him. Yes, you would have got your tail beat. And no, I don't think he should have been arrested, because if you spin on somebody, that's an assault. So he's defending himself. That's the most nastiest thing that you can do. That's one of the nastiest places on your body is your mouth. And it carries a lot of germs. So whoever that person was deserved to beat down, and that man did not deserve to go to no jail. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Julius, you're up.
So we're gonna throw away the charges. We're gonna throw away the charges because Sonia Messi. Oh yes, I'm evoking Miss Sonia Messi. She was unalived for telling a police officer, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." People lack common sense today. So you tell someone you rebuke them in the name of Jesus. So I'm turning to the chat congregation. Chat congregation, help the deacon out, because I was confused. I'm at an impasse. Now the deacon needs to ask y'all, should the charges be revoked? Say amen in the chat for me one time. Okay. Now, back to my point. What is up with people? Y'all think y'all could be about it, spit on somebody, unalive somebody, but yet demand respect and want to cry the fake puppy dog tears. Miss me with the monarchy. Miss me with the okie doke. Not here for it. Not here for it. That's it. That's all.
I appreciate you. Unfortunately, you brought up Sonia Massey, and unfortunately, I gotta try to remind myself what state this was in. It's another situation like that. I think it's obvious that the police do not know how to handle mental health situation calls. So a young man, a brother, called because his sister has mental health issues. He called to get help for his sister. And unfortunately, when the cops got there, before the cops even got there, he called and said, let me back up. Let me slow down. He called because he needed help. He just wanted an ambulance to be sent. But the dispatcher said, once it's a mental health situation, the cops have to come also. So he said, okay. Then he called right back because the sister apparently had a knife in her hand. And he said, you know what? Can I just cancel that call? She said, no, you cannot. They unalived this woman. She is not alive right now. It's baffling to me that it happened again. And I'm just trying to understand this young lady was nowhere near the officer, and she's gone now, and the family is outraged. So I'm not going to play this particular video. It's just so sad, but you brought her name up, Julius, and it just reminded me. Maybe I will just go ahead and let us hear it really quickly. But this is going to be the latest story of that particular situation. You hear where the family called the police for help, and now their family member is no longer here. And this happened in New Jersey. I'll just go ahead and play it for everybody.
Released body camera video from New Jersey shows how police shot and killed a woman in her home. Officers arrived at Victoria Lee's apartment last month after her family called 911 about a mental health crisis. They were looking for help. The family attorney says the 25-year-old diagnosed with bipolar disorder was harmless. The state attorney general is now investigating this case. Nancy Chen has our story, which raises new questions about how first responders handle such emergencies. We have to warn you about this one. This video is very difficult to watch.
Hey, is it you?
Police body camera video shows an officer meeting Victoria Lee's brother at the door of their Fort Lee, New Jersey apartment in the early hours of July 28th, about 13 minutes after he first called 911.
She's having a mental crisis.
All right, we'll send an ambulance and an officer over for.
Just the ambulance is fine. Like,
it's a mental health. We have to send officers also.
He then called 911 again to cancel the emergency dispatch, saying Lee had a foldable knife.
Can I just cancel that call?
Not for a mental health call.
She has a knife with her. That's why, like, right now.
What does she have?
She has a knife with her.
The officer arrived at the building shortly after the second call. He briefly saw Lee with her mom inside the apartment before they locked the door on him and several arriving officers.
I'm going to break the door down.
Go ahead, I'll stab you in the neck.
Sir, do me a favor. Step back. We don't want to shoot you.
The first responders planned their entrance.
Who wants to go less lethal? Who wants to go lethal?
All right, I'll go lethal.
Then knocked the door down.
Drop the knife!
Video shows Lee approach police with what appears to be a full water jug in her hand as Officer Tony Pickens Jr. fired a single shot, striking Lee in her chest. Officers tried to provide medical aid to Lee, but she was pronounced dead at a local hospital. A knife was recovered on the scene. It's unclear from the video if she was holding it when officers entered, but her family says she dropped it before they opened the door.
The police responded aggressively and forcibly entered the apartment and fatally shot Victoria.
While some U.S. police departments have enlisted mental health experts and social workers, many officers themselves are not trained for these specific interactions. Former Police Commissioner Rodney Harrison says proper procedure prioritizes gathering information about the subject and threat.
What's going on behind the door. And then you want to try to see if you could develop some type of dialogue with the person that's behind the door to see if you could try to de-escalate the situation.
For CBS Mornings, I'm Nancy Chen in New York.
I fail to understand why these continue to happen.
Yeah,
I did
too.
a piece where we went to the NYPD's training facilities where we participated in the training that they receive for situations just like this.
Yeah.
And in nowhere does it call for the use of deadly force unless it's absolutely necessary. And yet we still find ourselves reporting on these stories.
And check this out, guys. John Hopkins actually came out with a study in March. It said 67% of all shootings by police involving someone suffering from a mental or behavioral health episode were fatal. So this always seems to precede a lot of times the fatal shootings by police.
So many questions, especially since her brother said, look, she has mental issues, she has a knife. Can we cancel it?
Right.
Can we cancel it?
So there you have another one. So sad. They obviously, and this is across the board, I think, in every state, they obviously need to train or retrain the law enforcement how to deal with mental health situations. Because clearly it was aggressive, that situation. A lot of things went wrong in that situation, and it's very scary, but it seems collectively the public gets a little bit nervous because here you have this brother said himself, I just want the ambulance to come. We don't want the police to come. And then he got even more nervous knowing that his sister had a knife. And so he just knew that this was not going to be a good scenario, a good situation. Briefly, any comments on that story, even though it wasn't on the docket, Wayne?
No, I mean, I was about to correct you and tell you, oh, that's the wrong one, defect. I thought you was talking about the Massey girl.
No, the Massey girl. I know.
I couldn't believe that.
It was another one. He said, "Yeah, again."
Right. I couldn't believe again.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what can you say? I mean, I really don't have nothing to say on this one.
Yeah. Julius, any thoughts?
My condolences go out to the family. Talking about the spirit of Sonia Massey, we land upon the ongoing tragedy of the assault, the onslaught of mental illness. And I was just talking about Sonia Massey from the lack of common sense. Did not know about this situation, so my heart and condolences go out to the family.
Yeah. So Pauline said other countries police officers are trained for longer. US is only 6 months. But I think thank you for that information, Pauline. But I think the other problem is it seemed like there's a lack of training in this mental health situation or area. It seems like they have to have more training in that area. And I don't know why everything is pow to unalive the person. Why is it not like pow, you're going to stop them if maybe you hit them in the leg or something like that? This is crazy. Tay, you're up.
Hello, everybody, and good evening. This is gone too far by this right here. First, we got Cassandra, and now we got this right here. Because of what? You treat them like a criminal. They try to protect themselves. They see you. They see what you got in there. An evil spirit in there. You were supposed to protect us. Like I said before, you protect us from bad people. But now, 2 people are gone now because of this mess right here. I hope this person who pow her, lock him up and throw the keys away. And I feel bad for her family. Had to see this again. See this. Just like the old girl, her family too. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you. Katrina, you're up.
The thing that gets me with this is why are they so quick to pull a pow? Why not try to use a taser or a stun? Or they stun guns or anything, but they quick to pull out the pow when you can easily reach for your taser. If the taser is not getting them down, then I would say use more. Defensive forces or something like that. But the first thing they go for is their guns, and there should be a training on them as well. Because you're there to kill. You're there to off somebody. Sorry about that word, either. You're there to off somebody. And it's sad. And especially these people have mental conditions that they're not there. If they got a mental condition, that means that all their circuits is not working. And it's sad that it's always our people. The same thing, I know it's a whole different thing. The same thing with our the people in Alabama at the riverboat situation. Only one black person is going to jail for 10 days. Everybody else got community service or got off free. Why is she the only person going to jail down there when she was fighting, when there was more people fighting than her? Because she threw the lady in the water? And so y'all sending her to jail for 10 days, but everybody else get to walk free? You need to make that make sense to me, because I don't get it. Why is she the only one that got jail time? This is sad, and I'm so tired of seeing our people going through the same thing over and over again. And it's really, really irritating me, because some of us don't deserve it. Because those folks was not on that riverboat acting the way they was acting when none of them end up in the water. But this woman going to jail for 10 days because she was up there defending the people that come out after her coworker. But she's the only one that's going to jail, and that's a sad situation. But either or, you ain't mean to get off track with that. But I'm saying with the mental health condition, they need special training with that to deal with those type of people. They need a special force to be on the police force to deal with those type of people. Because everybody can't deal with mental health. Because everybody don't know the situation of mental health. So they need a special forces, a special force cops or whatsoever to deal with those type of people so they can handle those situations. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is sad. When I saw that one today, I was just like, what in the world is going on? This is so sad. It's like your person needs help. You're calling to get them help, And next thing you know, they're no longer here. They're not alive. Like, it just doesn't make sense, and it is so unfair. I'm going to go right ahead and run into this last story that we have. And the last story is the California shoplifter. She and her Tesla, she goes in the mall on a stealing spree, gets caught, and when she ran out running from the police, she figured it was a good idea to hop in the trunk of her Tesla. I mean, listen, first of all, I'm not going to be stealing nothing, but if it gets down to all of that, I'm sorry. I just have to get caught. You could have died in that trunk just waiting. I mean, when the heck was she going to come out? Just a whole hot mess. So a California shoplifter accused of swiping $850 and worth of merchandise in Lululemon, and people absolutely love this store. This store at Lululemon, it is just a trend, a big trend right now. So, and she also allegedly stole some Sephora items, hides from cops in the trunk of her Tesla, the body cam shows. So let's just look at this quick little clip here on the body cam. Oh, this one. Okay, wait. This one, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't want to show that one because it had that.
If you're shopping,
it had that music in it. Give me 1 minute. I have another clip I want to show y'all. Hold on. I didn't want to show that one with the music in it.
Look at this, an unusual game of hide and seek. Irvine police find an alleged shoplifter in the trunk of a Tesla. You see it there? So mall security had spotted her stealing from Sephora. They lost track of her in the parking lot, but a citizen tipped off police to her hiding spot. Officers knocked a few times on the trunk of her car, then opened it to find 35-year-old Emily Yanagita hiding inside. Authorities say she had $600 worth of stolen Sephora products in her car and $250 of shoplifted Lululemon clothes in her purse. The woman was arrested on suspicion of shoplifting, possessing burglary tools, and resisting arrest. What's the end game if you go in a trunk? How are you going to get yourself out? I guess maybe she had her phone. You know, with Teslas, you have an app, so maybe she had her phone. She would be able to unlock it from there.
That's a good point.
I would never trust myself
I don't know.
to lock myself in my trunk. I would be stuck there. Wouldn't most people? I don't know. That's just me.
Child, listen, she wasn't thinking about being stuck. She was just thinking about not getting locked up. So let me just go back into, let's just go here and read more into this story. So a California woman allegedly swiped products from Sephora and Lululemon and then jumped into the trunk of her Tesla in a failed bid to hide from cops last week, according to surveilled body cam footage. Alleged thief Emily claimed she scurried into the back of the Lux car on Wednesday because she was scared after urban police officers popped the trunk and slapped handcuffs on her. Emily, 35, grabbed about $600 worth of Sephora products and left the beauty product store despite loss prevention attempting to stop her around 3 p.m., authorities allege. When cops reached the scene, a citizen told them the suspect got into a white Tesla and then crawled into the trunk. After police knocked on the trunk multiple times, they opened it and found Emily inside, lying on her back, according to the body cam footage. Why are you hiding in the trunk? An officer asked. Because I'm scared, the San Marcos resident replied. When officers asked what she was afraid of, she claimed, because you guys came after me. The cop then asked for what, to which she replied, for accusing me of taking something. She also claimed she came with the Lululemon products worth $250 found in her purse, according to the footage. Emily was charged with shoplifting, possessing burglary tools, and resisting arrest, police said. And this is a darn shame. This woman is 35. She's driving a Tesla and she's stealing. Wayne, what are your thoughts?
She was trying to make them payments on that Tesla.
Ooh, child, something.
She tried to get some stuff to sell. You can make that payment. But I don't know if I would have bust on her. I don't know if I could have told. I think it's horrible you got to do that. But if she jumped in her Tesla, in the back of her Tesla, in the trunk, whatever, I would have just had to just walk on by. I wouldn't have said nothing.
You talking about the citizen that told the cop she in there?
Right. I wouldn't have said nothing. Did you see that? It's a video online like that. The police are chasing this guy, right? And going through the neighborhood. So they told when they saw the guy, they told him, go that way, go down there, go down there. So when he went there, he went down the alley. Then the police came and they went right past him. So, they didn't bust him. So I couldn't have told on him. I ain't a rat.
You ain't no snitch.
I ain't no snitch.
Ooh, thank you, Wayne. Julius, you're up.
I would have been like this. My name is Bennett. I in it. I would have did the Eddie like in barbershop. I would have acted like I was sitting up in there. And when the police came up, they be like, "Yeah, we looking for a crook." What crook? I'm just here getting my hair done. The silly things you think about. But listen, that girl crazy. That Tesla ain't worth it. Girl, bye.
Yeah, I did retail for a major portion of my life. And even like when I had like another full-time job, I would always do retail part-time. Retail, the reason why, well, not the only reason, but a lot of reason why the prices are so high or stuff is because people like to call petty theft, right? Just people coming in and stealing. It's somebody's business they're stealing from. It's somebody's store. And everybody likes to say insurance, this, that, and the other. It's really not that simple, easy. Yes, you do have a loss and prevention, type of, I don't know, bucket when you run in these stores like that because they just know that people are going to steal or so forth or whatever, or people will use stuff then return it. It's a loss to the business. But it's very sad when people just come in and steal. And it's sad for all of us all around. Like, I know we think it's not our problem, and I'm not saying anybody should go out and catch a thief themselves or stop a thief. But in the back end, it ends up impacting the entire economy when people just go in and they're stealing like that. There's a big thing now where people are going in luxury stores and being bold, like in broad daylight, and just snatching thousands and thousands of dollars worth of bags and all kinds of stuff. Is so brazen and crazy. I just don't get it. And I don't get, it's just crazy thinking like you just stealing all these products from Sephora. You're stealing products from Lululemon. It's like, what the heck? And I'm not buying a stolen product off of nobody. I'm good. I don't need it that bad. Katrina, your thoughts?
Come back to me, Diva.
Okay, no problem. Tay, your thoughts?
Girl, why you hiding in the car? Yeah, I bet they had the dog like sniff her scents right there. That's probably why they find her the first time. You had to cover your track, girl. Lord have mercy and Claw have mercy. What's wrong with criminals these days? Good God Almighty. You supposed to be smart and you hide the evidence. But no, you just feel like, oh, let me get myself caught. Not hiding. Just call yourself. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you, Tay. Katrina, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm tired with this child in this during an arcade. But yeah, how you gonna drive a Tesla and steal? So basically, did you steal the Tesla as well?
Child.
I'm just saying, you in the Tesla, hide in the Tesla. That's the most stupidest stuff did you think I would even say anything? I wouldn't even say a word. These people are crazy. You got these cars, you can't afford them. So you out there with a Tesla, but you stealing. So what we call is living on want a champagne life, but living on a beer budget. That's what you're doing. Turn the dang Tesla in. You can't afford it if you out there stealing. And then you have some of them, Diva, they be rich and steal because they have a problem. They kleptomaniacs. Not because they don't have the money. They steal because they got a sickness. So, I mean, you don't know. Because if you got a Tesla, you got to have some type of good kind of income because you just can't walk up and get no Tesla. So we don't know if she lost a job or whatsoever. But like I said, a lot of them steal because they just want to steal. Not because they don't have the money. They just want to steal. Just like this nurse, I think it was a doctor that went to Target. She's a doctor. She's at Target stealing. Now you know she got the money, but she's stealing at Target. She had a problem. She was a kleptomaniac. But either or, baby, just go ahead and turn the Tesla in. Go on, turn the Tesla in. You know, Musk ain't a good man no way. Go on, turn it in. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, you are correct. Some people do have an issue, but whatever her issue is, she need to get help. You're 35 in the Tesla and stealing. I wouldn't care if you're 35 and stealing and walking, but I'm just saying it seems even worse that you're 35, you're in a Tesla, you're driving a Tesla, and you're stealing. And then if you were stealing food, maybe people could feel sorry for you, but you're stealing clothes, makeup items, because Sephora only has what? Makeup, perfume and stuff like that. Really, girlfriend? No, you were stealing to go sell that to somebody, and you're dead wrong. But anyway, now she got a little charge behind it. Maybe she'll get help and get her life together. I'm going to go ahead, guys, and roll into the feel-good story. It's actually pretty interesting. It's about an artist. So sit back and let's take a look together.
If you're a fan of luminous visual art, you're in for a treat. Our Tracy Smith takes us inside the world of Mickalene Thomas as we put her work and life on display.
Look at all of these rhinestones, yes. Walk into the world of Mickalene Thomas and prepare to be dazzled.
Does this take your breath away when you...
Oh yeah, I love this piece.
The 53-year-old artist uses rhinestones, collage, silkscreen, and video to create pieces that celebrate women.
Everyone is looking out.
In a very sort of proud, confident, powerful posture.
She may be best known for her reinterpretations of classics, like this Le Déjeuner sur l'herbe, a take on the Pablo Picasso and Edouard Manet paintings of the same name.
Our histories are always wrought with ideas of leaving truths out, right?
Yeah, leaving people out.
Leaving people out. And so I started questioning that.
Thomas shifted the focus to women she finds beautiful. Her muses are sometimes famous, more often not.
The everyday Black woman who should be celebrated, the women who are on the street, the women who are the laborers, the workers, but still exudes this excellence of self-awareness and pride and vulnerability and strength at the same time.
Like all great artists, she has an understanding, a grasp of what great historical artists are doing. And she's saying, okay, I'm going to turn that around. I'm going to make that my own.
Joanne Heiler is founding director of the Broad Museum in LA, home to the exhibition Mickalene Thomas, All About Love.
She is completely changing who's centered in traditional Western, especially European painting. And she's centering Black women, she's centering queer women and queer identity. And she's doing that with these beautiful works with glitter and rhinestone and literally bringing light and illumination to those lives.
The exhibit starts with a life-size recreation of the New Jersey row houses where Thomas grew up.
So you're entering 604 Mount Vernon Street.
Camden, New Jersey.
Camden, New Jersey.
Early on, she knew she wanted to make a difference. So in college, she studied pre-law.
Why not think about being a lawyer and changing some necessary laws in this country?
Sure. I mean, is that what you thought? I could make change?
Yeah, of course.
I can change the world?
Yeah, that was the goal.
That is, until the day she visited a museum and saw the Kitchen Table series, a set of photographs by renowned artist Carrie Mae Weems.
That moment when I saw those photographs at the museum, I knew I wanted to be an artist.
That was it.
And that was it. That's what art is supposed to do. It's supposed to move you, incite you. And if we don't see ourselves in images, we don't know what's possible.
So you knew you wanted to do art.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know you could make a living at that point?
You're funny. No.
In fact, her mixing of media came, at least in part, out of necessity, like her signature rhinestones, which are put on one by one and can number into the thousands on a single piece.
Oil paint is very expensive. So I used what was around me, what was accessible, what was affordable. And sometimes that was materials that other people threw away. And I would just find it like, well, okay, I can't afford paint, but I'm going to work with these things.
I can use it.
And a lot of my process comes out of limitations. But my life has always been about limitations and working within that, around it, and through it, and above it.
Above it is right. Her work is now in museums all over the world.
I don't even want to speak about myself. I don't really like speaking about myself mostly.
And just this past May, when she was honored by the Gordon Parks Foundation in New York, her journey came full circle.
You talk back to the old masters, Micheline, creating new ways of seeing us, seeing women.
Presenting her award was Carrie Mae Weems, the artist whose work inspired Micheline Thomas to change her life's path 30 years ago. She didn't become a lawyer, but that dream of making a difference still came true.
Thank you. Thank you.
To have an idea and to take that idea, to transmit it through yourself, to make it come to fruition and to make something that the world or group of people respond to. Now that's life, right?
That's changing the world.
That's changing the world.
I thought it was a great story for us to see. Just, you know, she made it work, kind of follow her dreams, doing her art, and putting her work out there, her passion out there. You know, if ever anything I try to do, I always try to encourage y'all to follow your dreams, follow your passion, live your best life. We got this moment here and now. Make the best of your moments that you have here and now. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all because I know the convention is on, okay? So I appreciate y'all for coming through and spending time with me. But y'all know the train will pull out the building, okay? We will be pulling out the building again tomorrow night and the rest of the week, God willing. But I want to say thank you again for being here. If you didn't hit the like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody.
Do not